Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown.
Hello, you're with Libby Dyson from libbystamps.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, and today I've got another one of those how do I do that videos, and we're looking at a fun fold today. We're using Beautiful World Cling Stamp Set, the World of Good Specialty Designer Series paper, Versamark and Gold Stampin' Emboss powder, Cinnamon Cider, and the Star Designer Elements. This is a really easy fancy fold to do. It's a double gate fold, so one flap comes from the right and the top flap comes from the left. Now open it up for the inside of the card, and I've already stamped on the envelope. Both sides have got a different world stamp on them, and I stamped off with those. Alright, so we're going to get started on this. Alright, you need a piece of cardstock which is 14.85 by 21 by 14.85, and you're going to score it or put a little tick mark at 10.5. So if I bring in my paper trimmer, you can put a little tiny score mark at 10.5, or you can put a pencil mark by going through your trimmer, just like that. Make sure your pencil's sharp and just put a little pencil mark and then erase it later. Now you can score these at 5.2 here and 15.7 roughly, but I find it just as easy to put that little tick mark or score line at 10.5, and then all you need to do is come in with your bone folder and fold in from one side to that tick mark, give it a good crease, and then fold over to that tick mark and give it a good crease. And that way you've got your fold like that, and it's easy without the measuring, because in centimetres it's a little difficult to get it exactly right. Okay, so then I'm going to come in with 2 pieces of cardstock, one for each panel. This cardstock's Cinnamon Cider, and we're putting Mossy Meadow on the top. And this cardstock measures 14.5 by 4.9. So we'll just go ahead and attach that to the front of our card, to the flaps. So one on each side. Don't forget, all these products are available in my online store, and I'd love you to shop with me. You'll get a little surprise in the mail when you shop with me. I like to use the liquid glue because it gives me a bit of wiggle room. And just to add the other one to the other side. Just opened it up to make it a little easier for you to see. So just down, and I've got just the bare minimum of cardstock showing on each side. Alright, then I'm going to come in and add some DSP, and this is from the World of Good Specialty Designer Series paper, and this piece measures 14.1 by 4.6, and you need 2 of them, of course, one for each flap. So if I put this one on here, I'll just see if they meet up. That one's got to go on there like that. So we'll just add them using liquid glue again. This is a really quick project to use liquid glue on, and quite easy to do. You could make a number of these all at once. You could get your card bases ready, put them aside, and then make the other elements later. So just a little whisper of Mossy Meadow showing around your DSP, and one on the other side, and then we'll go ahead and make our flaps sure it's up the right way if you're using directional paper. Alright, now we might do the inside of our card first. So I'm using a piece of Whisper White, which is about 10 by 14 centimetres. And I'm going to come in with some cinnamon cider, classic stamping, and I'm going to stamp the world images which come from the stamp set. Now this one is Australia, so I'm going to stamp it up the top here this time. Make sure you've got it the right way around. Stamp down, just as well there's two sides to every piece of card. Stamp down, much better. And we're going to stamp off on our envelope. So no need to ink up again, just stamp off using the remainder of the ink. And then we're going to stamp the other world one on the bottom. Make sure it's well inked up. Bring in your envelope and stamp off. Then we can add that element to the inside of our card. Again using liquid glue. It's good there are two sides to every bit of cardstock. Using the Stamparatus would help position these and get a nice neat image. If you miss your stamping at all, you can always re-ink and go back in. Alright, so that's our card so far. Now I have two card flaps and they measure, the cardstock measures 9.5 by 6.5. And I'm adding DSP, which measures 9.3 by 6.3. And it's just the reverse of the DSP I've already used. Gorgeous DSP. They make great cards. Beautiful sentiments. So that's one piece. And then the other piece I've already stamped and embossed on. So all we need to do now is add our flaps. And on this one, I've done the sentiment up the top and put some stars down the bottom. So we could have a look at doing the reverse this time. So keep in mind that you need to have a little bit of a gap between your two flaps and you need to line them up. So if we put this one on here and try and have sort of an equal distance of DSP etc. showing. So I'm going to add to the right hand side of this piece and glue it down just like that. And then this piece is going to go on top. Try and line it up. And you're going to put the glue on the left hand side, but to make it easier I'm going to flip it round and put the glue under here. So each flap opens differently. One on the left, one on the right. And then all we need to do is add our elements, Star Designer elements. So there's our card. You could stamp on that DSP as well, or just add our Star Designer elements. You should take your pick tool to take the stars off. And I'm going to add one down here and two up here. Alright, I'm also going to add some linen thread. So just cut a length of linen thread and I'm just going to loop it over a few times in my hand. Try and loop it in half to start with. Loop it over in half again and then just tie a bit of an overhand knot using your finger. So around your finger, slip the loop off, put the loopy ends through that loop that your finger made. If you're having trouble getting the loops through, you should take your pick tool or your snip, something pointy, pair of tweezers. Alright, so pull your loop just like that. And then I'm just going to cut off the ends to make them even. Come in with a glue dot and you take your pick tool again if you need it. Add a glue dot to the back of the knot and just make sure that it's not going to show on the front, and we're going to add that element just there like that. Alright, so that's how to make a quick and easy double gatefold card, and we've used the Beautiful World Cling Mount stamp set. We've used Cinnamon Cider cardstock, Mossy Meadow cardstock, Whisper White cardstock on the inside, Versamark and Gold Stampin' Emboss powder. We've used Cinnamon Classic Stampin' ink, Star Designer elements, World of Good DSP on both here, Whisper White envelope, and of course your paper trimmer and your bone folder. And there's our finished card with its envelope, and there's the one I made earlier with its envelope. So you can buy all these products in my online store, and I'd love you to shop with me. And I hope to see you again next time for another How Do I Do That video. Alright, bye for now.